There are moments in life when everything around you seems to fall silent. Not the peaceful kind of silence, but the heavy kind. The kind that settles over your chest at 2 in the morning, when your mind won't stop running and sleep feels like something that belongs to people who haven't carried what you've been carrying. The kind of silence that makes you feel utterly alone in a world full of noise. You know that silence, don't you? I think you do. And if you're here right now, hearing these words, I want you to take a deep breath. Because what is about to happen is not an accident. God sees you. He has always seen you. Not the version of you that you present to the world. The one that smiles through the hard days. The one that says, I'm fine when someone asks how you're doing. The one that keeps moving even when every step is an act of sheer willpower. He sees the real you. The one behind closed doors. The one who prays quietly and sometimes wonders if those prayers are even reaching anywhere. The one who has believed and held on and fought and fallen and gotten back up more times than you can count. That person. He sees that person. And today, of all days, He placed this prayer in your path because He has something to say to you. A sign He has been preparing. A word that your heart has been waiting for. Stay here with me. Don't go anywhere. Even if your day is full, even if there are 100 things demanding your attention, let this be the moment you give yourself permission to stop and receive. Open your heart the way you'd open a door for someone you've been waiting for. Because that's exactly what this is. You don't need to have the right words. You don't need to be in the right mood. You don't need to feel spiritual or worthy or put together. You just need to be willing. And the fact that you're here tells me you are. Before we enter into this prayer together, I want to pause for just a moment and ask you something. If these first few words have already stirred something inside you, if there's already a warmth in your chest, a flutter of recognition, a quiet feeling that says this is for me, then I want to invite you to become part of this community. Subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell. Every single day, prayers like this one are placed here for people who need them. People who are fighting battles no one else can see. People who wake up early and stay up late with a weight on their hearts that only God can lift. This channel exists for you. So join us, subscribe, ring the bell, and let this be a place where God speaks to you regularly. You deserve a space like that. And now let's go deeper together. Lord, I come before you in this moment with my whole heart. I don't come with rehearsed words or polished speeches. I come as I am, with all my fears, with all my doubts, with all the weight I've been carrying in silence for longer than I want to admit. I come with trembling hands and a tired soul. I come with questions I haven't been able to ask anyone. I come with a faith that has been tested so many times that sometimes I can barely recognize it in myself. And I believe, Lord, with everything inside me, that you receive me exactly as I am. That you don't require me to be strong. That you don't demand that I have all the answers before I approach you. You only ask that I come. And here I am. Here I am, Lord. There are things that have been living inside me for so long that I've forgotten they were wounds. They've become so familiar that I stopped naming them, stopped acknowledging them, started treating them as just part of how things are. But you know them, Lord. You know every one of them. You know the moment they formed. You know what caused them. You know exactly how they've shaped the way I see myself, the way I see others, the way I see you. And I believe that you haven't brought me to this moment of prayer simply to pass time. You've brought me here because you intend to do something about them. There are prayers I prayed in the middle of the night, in the quiet of my room, where no one could hear me, where I barely allowed myself to believe they would be answered. Prayers that felt like throwing letters into the wind and hoping somehow they arrived. Prayers soaked in tears. Prayers breathed out in moments of desperation when words failed and all I could do was say your name and hope you understood the rest. And yet here I am, still believing, still hoping, still reaching for you even when my arms are tired, even when the distance seems impossible, even when the silence of heaven felt louder than any answer I'd ever received. Because something in me cannot stop. Something in me knows, on the deepest level, that you are real and that you are good, and that you have not turned away. I need you to know, Lord, and you already know, because you know me better than I know myself. I need you to know that I have tried. I have tried to be faithful. I have tried to trust. I have tried to hold on when everything around me was coming apart. Some days I did it well and felt your peace like a river flowing through me. Some days I failed completely and lay face down in my own mess, wondering how I could have been so weak. But not once, Lord, not a single day, did I stop loving you. Even on the days I was angry with you. Even on the days the silence felt like abandonment. Even on the days I wondered if any of this was real. The love remained. It was confused, it was hurting, it was sometimes barely a flicker, but it never went out. And that love is what brings me here today. I want to ask you for a sign. Not because I don't believe, but because I am human, because I am fragile, because there are seasons when the fog rolls in so thick that I can't see even one step ahead, and my soul cries out for just one moment of clarity, one flash of knowing that you are present, that you are close, that this is not all for nothing. Give me that sign, Lord. Not necessarily a sign in the sky or a miracle that interrupts the natural order of things, though you are certainly capable of that, and I would receive it. But a sign in my heart, a peace that passes understanding, that settles over me like a blanket in the cold, a warmth in my chest that has no other explanation, a whisper in my spirit that says, I am here, I see you, I have not forgotten you. I am working right now in the very things you cannot see. Because, Lord, there is so much I cannot see. There are situations in my life that look, from every angle I can observe, like dead ends, like closed doors, like stories that have reached their unhappy conclusion. But I know in the deepest part of me, in that place where your spirit speaks to my spirit, that you are a God of resurrection, that dead ends are your specialty, that you do not look at a sealed tomb the way human beings look at a sealed tomb, that what we call an ending, you sometimes call a setup. You turn impossible situations into testimonies. You take the very thing that seemed like the finish line of disaster and make it the starting line of something that hasn't been imagined yet. I've seen you do it. I've read it in your word. I've heard it in the stories of people whose lives looked hopeless until the moment they didn't. And now I'm asking you, with everything that I am, to do it in mine. I want to speak openly to you today about the things that have kept me awake at night, not just once or twice, but consistently, persistently, like a song that won't leave my head. About the relationships that have left scars I haven't known how to heal. There are people I miss, Lord, people whose presence left a hole in my life that nothing else has been able to fill. Some of them are gone through death, and the grief is something I carry quietly because I've learned that people have a limited capacity for hearing about grief once a certain amount of time has passed. Some of them are gone through disagreement, through distance, through the slow erosion of connection that happens when life gets busy and people drift. And some of them made choices that meant I had to create distance for my own healing, and I've carried the weight of that too. Lord, I bring all of that to you right now. Every broken relationship, every fractured friendship, every silence where conversation used to be. I ask you to step into those broken places, not to force anything, because you are not a God who violates the will of the people you love, but to work the way only you can work, through hearts softened in unexpected moments, through a text message sent out of nowhere, through a dream that brings someone to mind who hasn't been thought of in years, through the quiet work of your Spirit in the inner places of people's souls. Lord, you are the restorer of what the locusts have eaten. Restore what has been lost. Mend what has been broken. And where something truly cannot be restored, give me the peace to release it and the wisdom to recognize what you are building in its place. And Lord, I want to talk about the loneliness, because I think this is one of the most honest things I can bring before you today. The loneliness that can exist even in a room full of people. The loneliness that comes not from being physically alone, but from feeling that the truest parts of you are invisible to everyone around you. From feeling that the conversations you have stay on the surface while something deeper in you is hungry for real connection. For the kind of knowing that goes beyond what you do for work and how your children are doing in school. I have felt that loneliness, Lord. I have sat in the middle of conversations and felt completely alone. I have scrolled through pages of faces online and felt more isolated than if I'd been in an empty room. I know that you understand loneliness in a way no human ever fully could. You took on flesh and walked among people who mostly misunderstood you. You poured yourself out with complete love and were met with suspicion, with rejection, with betrayal from the people closest to you. You know what it feels like to love deeply and not have that love fully received. And yet you did not grow bitter. You did not close your heart. You did not retreat into the safety of emotional distance. You kept loving, kept giving, kept opening yourself up to the risk of being hurt again. Lord, teach me that kind of love. Teach me to keep my heart open even when it has been hurt. Teach me to love again without the armor I've built to protect myself. Because I know that you are the healer of every wound, and that the walls I've built to keep pain out are also keeping the good things from coming in. I bring to you today every financial worry that has been sitting on my chest like a stone I can't put down. Every bill that seems to arrive at the worst possible time. Every number that doesn't add up no matter how many times I run it, no matter how creatively I rearrange the budget. Every moment I've looked at what is coming in and what is going out and felt the floor drop out from under me. Lord, you know the details I haven't spoken out loud to anyone. Because financial fear carries a particular kind of shame, a feeling that if people knew the full picture, they would judge me, would wonder how I let it get this way, would lose their confidence in me. But you know the full picture. You know the specific amounts. You know the specific deadlines. You know the history of how things arrived at this point, the unexpected expenses, the seasons without work, the decisions that seemed right at the time and turned out not to be. And your word says that you know my needs before I even ask. So Lord, I am asking, not for abundance that makes me forget you, not for wealth that feeds my pride, but for provision, for enough, for the peace of knowing that you are Jehovah Jireh, the God who sees and provides. Move in my finances, Lord. Open doors that I have no ability to open with my own strength or cleverness. Create opportunities that I cannot manufacture. Bring favor in places where I have not been favored. Bring the right person, the right phone call, the right moment of breakthrough that changes the trajectory of this season. And while you work on the outside, Lord, work on the inside too. Deliver me from the anxiety that robs me of joy in the present, because I'm always terrified about the future. Teach me what it really means to trust you as my provider, not just as a theological concept, but as a daily, practical, lived reality. Lord, I want to pray for my health, for this body you created and placed me in, which carries so much more than it was perhaps designed to carry, so much stress, so much anxiety, so much unprocessed emotion that has taken up residence in muscles and joints, and a nervous system running constantly at high alert. I want to pray for the aches and pains I've been pushing through and trying to ignore, for the symptoms I've been afraid to get checked because I'm afraid of what they might mean, for the diagnosis, if there has been one, that changed everything and that I am still learning to live with and navigate and hold alongside my faith. You are the great physician, Lord. Before there were hospitals and medications and treatment plans, you were healing. You are healing still. I don't come asking you to override medical wisdom. You work through doctors and researchers and the extraordinary knowledge that human beings have developed with minds you designed. But I do come asking you to do what no medical professional can do, to touch the deepest level of my physical being with your healing presence, to bring peace to a nervous system that has been in survival mode for too long, to restore what stress has depleted, to rebuild what suffering has broken down. And yes, Lord, where you choose to act in a way that defies every medical expectation, I am open to that too. I have seen you do it. I believe you can do it again. I want to speak about the anxiety, Lord. about the way the mind, when left unguarded, becomes a machine for generating worst-case scenarios, about the spiral that begins with one small worry and, if I'm not careful, expands to encompass the complete collapse of everything I love, about the three thoughts that feel absolutely certain and completely devastating, and that, in the light of morning, often look far less catastrophic but are replaced by a new set of equally certain, equally devastating 3 thoughts the following night. I know that you did not give me a spirit of fear. I know that perfect love casts out fear. I know that you have plans for me, plans for welfare and not for calamity, a future and a hope. I have read these words so many times that they are written on the walls of my memory. But sometimes, Lord, the gap between what I know in my mind and what I feel in my body is a canyon. I need you to build a bridge across that canyon. I need the truth to become experiential, not just intellectual. I need your peace, not just to understand what it is, but to feel it, to live inside it, to be so familiar with it that anxiety becomes the exception rather than the default. So today I ask you, set a guard over my mind. When the spiral begins, be the interruption. When the fear rises, be the voice that is louder. When I start running into a future that hasn't happened and building fear structures around imaginary disasters, call me back. Bring my mind to the present. Bring it to you. Back to the long record of every time you came through. Back to the list of prayers you have answered. The moments you provided. The times you turned what looked like catastrophe into testimony. There are dreams I've carried for years, Lord. Dreams that felt so alive when they first formed inside me that I could almost reach out and touch them. Dreams about the kind of person I wanted to be, the kind of work I wanted to do, the kind of life I wanted to build, the contribution I wanted to make. Dreams that got me out of bed in the morning with something that felt almost like excitement, that made the ordinary days feel full of possibility because I was moving towards something that mattered. And then life happened. And some of those dreams were put on a shelf, quietly, without ceremony, without even a formal decision. They just stopped being something I thought about, because thinking about them became too painful, because the distance between where I am and where I hope to be grew large enough to feel insurmountable. Lord, I bring every single one of those dreams to you today, the ones that feel foolish to even mention at this point, the ones I've been ashamed to admit I still carry, the ones I've been protecting by keeping them hidden, because as long as I don't speak them, no one can tell me I'm too old or too late or too far off course. I lay them all out before you. I say, here they are. Here is what you placed inside me before I diluted it with doubt. Here is what burned before discouragement got hold of it. Some of it has dimmed almost to nothing, but the embers are still there. I know they are, because if they weren't, it wouldn't still hurt to think about them. Breathe on those embers, Lord. Blow the breath of life onto whatever remains of what you originally placed inside me. Stir up the gifts. Remind me why I was created. Remind me that it is not too late, that your timetable is not the same as the world's timetable, that what the world calls too late, you simply call not yet. That the story you are writing for my life has not reached its climax, let alone its conclusion. That what looks like a detour from the outside is often, from your vantage point, the road itself. That the years I feel I've lost were not wasted in your economy. They were years of formation, of character building, of developing the exact qualities that the next chapter of my life will require. Lord, I choose to believe that. Even when it sounds like wishful thinking, even when the evidence around me argues against it, I choose to believe it, because I choose to trust you. I want to pray for the people I love, for my family, Lord, for the ones who carry my name in their story and the ones who have become family not by blood, but by the kind of love that chooses and keeps choosing. For the children in my life, my own or the ones I love as my own, who are growing up in a world I sometimes don't recognize, a world that is more confusing and more dangerous and more overwhelming than the one I grew up in, a world that is throwing more at them before they're ready than any generation before them. Protect them, Lord, not just from the obvious dangers, but from the subtle ones. From the lies told by screens about what they're worth and what they should look like and what their life should be. From the loneliness of connection without intimacy. From the creeping despair that is settling over a whole generation that doesn't have the vocabulary to name what they're feeling. Give them a faith that is real and personal and genuinely their own, not inherited at surface level but encountered, wrestled with, arrived at through the hard work of actually asking the questions. Give them mentors and friends who point them toward truth. Cover them when they're making choices I can't see and can't influence. And Lord, wherever there is distance in my family relationships, distance created by hurt or misunderstanding or time or geography or pride, build bridges. Create the moment. Send the word. Soften the heart that needs softening. Because I believe that you are the God of reconciliation, and that what you set your heart to restore does not stay broken. Lord, I want to thank you, not as a formality, not as the polite preamble to a list of requests, but genuinely, deeply, specifically. I want to thank you for the things I almost missed, for the bad day that turned out to be the day I learned something I desperately needed to learn in a way I would not have learned it any other way, for the door that closed on something I wanted and later, sometimes much later, I understood was protecting me from something I could not see at the time, for the relationship that ended and left me devastated and then, in the clearing that the grief eventually made, allowed something better to begin, for the waiting seasons that I hated, that I begged you to end, that you extended because what you were building in me required the time. Thank you, Lord, for the breath in my lungs right now, for the specific miracle of this moment, this day, this chance to pray and be heard, for the fact that I am here and alive and still in the middle of a story that is not finished. Thank you for your Son. Thank you for the weight of what that cost. Thank you for the cross, which I confess I sometimes treat as a familiar symbol rather than the most staggering event in human history. The God of the universe, choosing limitation and vulnerability and suffering so that the gap between holiness and my brokenness could be permanently, completely, decisively closed. I don't want to be casual about that. I don't want to let it become furniture in my faith, something I walk past every day without stopping to be undone by it. So I stop here and let it undo me again today. Lord, I speak now to the situations in my life that seem immovable, the ones I've circled in prayer so many times that I sometimes wonder if the path I've worn around them has become a rut. The ones that look exactly the same as they did 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. The ones that have begun to feel like permanent features of my landscape rather than temporary conditions that are subject to your intervention. I speak life into those situations today, not because I have the power to change them. I don't. But because your word says that there is power in the spoken declaration of your truth. So I declare, what God has promised will come to pass. What God has started will be completed. What God has set in motion, no human hand and no spiritual force can ultimately stop. I speak to every mountain that has stood firm against every prayer I've prayed, and I say, be moved. Not by my eloquence, not by my faith, which is imperfect and small on many days, but by the authority of the name that is above every name, the name at which every knee must bow, in heaven and on earth and under the earth, the name at which chains break and captives are freed, and the impossible becomes a testimony in process. I declare that name over every situation in my life today. Jesus, Jesus, let that name do in my circumstances what I could never do for myself. I release every person who has wronged me. I know this is the part that costs something. I know this is not easy, and I don't want to say it as if it were. There are offenses I've carried that became almost like companions, always there, always coloring the way I see certain situations, certain people, certain memories. There are people who did things that genuinely hurt me, some of them knowing full well what they were doing, some of them thoughtlessly, some of them from their own brokenness that they had no tools to manage. And I have held those things. I've held them because releasing them felt like saying they didn't matter, like letting someone off a hook they deserve to be on. But today I understand something I didn't always understand. Unforgiveness is a prison, and the person it imprisons is not the one who wronged me. It's me. The door to that prison is on my side, and only I can open it. So today, by an act of will that has nothing to do with whether I feel like it or whether it seems fair, I choose to open that door. I release every person who has hurt me. I release every offense, every moment of betrayal, every wound I've been tending in the hidden places. I place every one of those people and every one of those situations into your hands, Lord, and I say, you deal with it. You are the judge. You are the redeemer. You are the one who sees what I can't see about every situation, every person, every moment of wrong done. I trust you to handle what I am releasing. And I choose to walk out of that prison, lighter, freer, more open to the future you are building than I've been in a long time. Lord, I come now to the request that lives underneath all the other requests. The one that is, if I'm honest, what all of this is ultimately about. Not the finances, not the health, not the relationships, not even the healing of the wounds, as important as all of that is. What I want more than any of those things is to know you, really know you, not to know about you the way I know about historical figures or famous thinkers, not to know your benefits the way a person knows the features of a product, but to know you the way the psalmist knew you, with the kind of intimacy that made him say that one day in your courts is better than 1,000 elsewhere, the kind of knowing that makes your presence feel like home. I want to hear your voice clearly. Not just in moments of crisis when I'm desperate enough to strain for any signal at all, but in the ordinary days, in the middle of conversations, in the quiet space between tasks. I want to recognize your hand in the small things, a phrase that catches in my mind, a conversation that takes a turn I didn't expect, a moment of beauty so specific and so perfectly timed that it could only be a love note from you. I want to be so familiar with the texture of your presence that your absence becomes something I notice immediately and reach back toward. Draw me close, Lord, closer than I've ever been. Let whatever this season holds, the difficulty and the waiting and the questions and the stretching, let it all serve the purpose of knowing you more deeply. I am not asking you to remove the hard things if they are the very instruments you are using to form something beautiful in me. I am asking you not to waste them. Let the trials refine my faith rather than destroy it. Let the waiting develop my character rather than embitter it. Let the unanswered prayers increase my trust rather than erode it. Shape me, Lord, even when I push against the shaping, even when I don't understand what you're doing and my natural response is to resist it. I give you permission to do the deep work that only you can do, the work that cannot be done in comfort, the work that requires exactly the kind of season I'm in. I believe, Lord. I know that sounds simple, but I want to say it clearly and specifically, because I think my faith needs to hear itself say it out loud today. I believe that you are who you say you are. I believe that your word is true, not figuratively true, not symbolically helpful, but actually, literally, historically, presently, eternally true. I believe that every promise you made has the full weight of your character behind it, and your character does not change. I believe that you are good, even on the days, especially on the days, when my circumstances look anything but good. I believe that you work all things together for my good, not just the pleasant things, not just the things I can understand from where I'm standing, but all things. That word covers a lot of territory, Lord, and I choose to believe it covers mine. I believe that this moment, this prayer, this reaching toward you in whatever imperfect and incomplete way I've managed today, it matters. It is heard. You are not indifferent to it. You are not sorting through prayers from billions of people and getting to mine eventually, somewhere in a queue. You are fully present with me right now, fully attentive, fully engaged, fully capable of everything I've asked and everything I haven't had the words to ask. And the answer to this prayer is already in motion. It may not look the way I expect. It may not arrive on the schedule I've drawn up, but it is coming, because you are faithful. You have always been faithful, and you will be faithful in this. So I end this prayer the way I began it, as I am, still imperfect, still learning, still growing, still sometimes afraid, still sometimes looking at my own faith and wondering if it's enough, but leaning into you, choosing you, reaching for you with everything I have, even when everything I have feels like very little, trusting that you take even the most broken, most uncertain, most barely holding together prayer and receive it as an offering of love, because that is who you are. You are not the God who requires me to be strong enough to reach you. You are the God who sees me where I am and comes. Thank you, Lord. Thank you that this prayer is not the end of something. It is the beginning of a new awareness, a new openness, a new chapter being written in ink I can't yet read, but that your hand is already moving across the page. Something shifted today. I believe that, with quiet certainty. Something in the invisible realm moved in response to faith being spoken out loud. Something that was bound has come loose. Something that was closed has opened. And I receive it. With open hands and an open heart and the steady, quiet, unshakable knowledge that you are good, that you have always been good, and that you are absolutely not finished with my story yet. In the name of Jesus, with every ounce of faith I have and all the faith I'm still reaching for, I say, Amen.